everybody, and welcome back to Dark Souls. So, last time, I believe we ran around out here in the lava a whole heck of a lot. This is Lost Izalith, the source of chaos magic, which is a type of pyromancy, fire, that sort of thing. We're headed, I've been avoiding these giant obnoxious T-Rex dinosaur demon things, and I'm heading towards the boss of this area, who's actually not too terribly far away. I picked up a ring, so in the last video, I fought a centipede demon. That was a boss, and while I was fighting it, chopped off little bits of it, and ended up getting a orange ring. And the orange ring lets us run across the lava like that without taking too much damage. So I'm going to head up here, and actually we need to use the orange ring to get across this area here, but I don't actually need it up in this next area. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to... I don't know what I want to switch to. How about just the poise ring, the wolf ring? I really like having that extra bit of poise, especially because I'm using light armor, so I don't have much poise in this armor set. Yeah, and so here we are. This is the next area here. I'm probably not going to explore too much. We are going to end up running into, yeah, so that's not a real enemy. But we are going to be running into a bunch of these fiery demon statues. These guys are really easy to deal with. They don't have much HP. So let's see. Yeah, not too much that's interesting. There's like an item up there. We can do a little bit of exploration, but there is a little bit of there is something here that I can do. One of the continuing one of the quests with one of the NPCs. I believe I've mentioned that in a past video. There's like the Knight Solaire and Siegmeyer of Katarina, the knight with the goofy helm who would keep helping out. There's the golden armored assassin who killed the Firelink, the Firekeeper in Firelink Shrine. There's all these NPCs, and they all have these little stories and interesting things. You can run around and talk to them and follow things. Petrus, the guy who sells us miracles back in Firelink, he's another one. I'm planning on doing a second playthrough of the game. I'm sure I've talked about this at length already, but I want to cover a lot of the lore and hit a lot of those story points in that video. So, to that end, I'm doing a little bit of them here. You know, we've been talking to Siegmeyer, and we've been helping him out and stuff. Same with Solaire, but I'm kind of just avoiding those for now, and I'm gonna cover them in more detail in my other video. And I don't know when that's gonna be. So, I'm gonna do maybe a tiny bit of exploration here, but not planning on doing a tremendous amount just because I don't want to spoil any of the story stuff. If you're really interested and you don't want to wait, then I encourage you to pick up the game and play it yourself. Awesome, there's another soul there. Alright, so we got another new enemy up here. I'm going to try lightning spearing these things. Also, sounds like I just heard another... He's back down here. Heard another one of those fire demon statues come to life down here. That's what that was. Yeah, it looks like he wasn't protecting anything of any importance. So there's these creepy new tentacle monster things with lots of eyes on top of them. These are, I believe they're called Chaos Eaters. You do need to be careful. They spit, I believe that's like acid or poison, something nasty. Whatever it is, don't really want to find out. They can also grab you with their tentacles and throw you up on top. Their mouth is on top, so they would throw you into their mouth and eat you. Which, as usual, is a pretty devastating attack. Don't really want that to happen to me. I don't think there's any more secret walls or anything like that, so I'm just kind of goofing around a little bit. If I were human, there is another NPC who would invade us here and attack us. Let's see, there's an item over there. I don't think there's anything here that I actually need or really want to have, so again, no real desire to explore too much. That's probably like a soul, another soul item. I saw something over here. Yeah, there it is. Soul of a hero. Like, I'm just gonna hop down here, or try to hop down here and get this. Yep, that one's tricky to get because you usually just slide right over it like I did. Oh well, no big deal. I was mildly curious to know what that was, but not super curious. So I'm gonna head back up here. Maybe? Geometry. Getting caught up there on those stairs. So yeah, those, the Chaos Eaters, like the one that I just killed on the stairs there, there's a few more of them throughout this area that you can find. They have a pretty high chance of dropping... Pyromancer. This is, oh boy, that hurt a lot. This is not like another player invading or an NPC invading. This is just another one of those, like, unique hollows. We've been encountering them throughout the game. Just somebody who, some other hero, an undead, progressing through the game, they turn hollow. Not like another human or anything. Yeah, so they dropped a catalyst that'd be used for sorceries. Yeah, so those guys, the Chaos Eaters, they can drop red Titanite chunks, which is how you get the Titanite chunks for upgrading fire weapons. Which, fire weapons are interesting. I don't believe they scale at all with any of your stats. So strength, dexterity, all that stuff. Oh boy. Okay, so that is acid. Interesting, and it did a beefy chunk of durability damage to my weapon there. Oh, actually, probably hit my shield, not my sword. Doesn't look too bad, though. Awesome, got another pyromancy. Yeah, so fire weapons, when you upgrade them with a blacksmith and you use the fire ember, which we never found, but there's an ember, you give it to the blacksmith, they'll turn your weapons into fire weapons. I believe they do pretty high damage and they do additional fire damage, but it doesn't scale, so they don't get better as you level up. Good for people who like to run through the game as, you know, really low-level characters. But generally, if you're going to be raising a stat like strength or faith or intelligence, dexterity, one of those, you want to focus on using weapons that will scale very well with those stats, which is what I've been doing. With my my claymore and my bastard sword that I'm using, I have them set to be divine weapons so that they have the extra damage as I level up my faith. Alright, I passed through the fog door here, and down this slope is going to be the next boss. And this is an interesting boss. I like what they were trying to do. They really mixed up the formula a little bit. I'm really curious. My talisman is what's almost destroyed. There's a logo up in the top left corner there. You can see the snake from my covetous silver serpent ring. The suit of armor with an arrow up on it. That is for my poise, from the extra poise I have from the wolf ring. And that red symbol is it looks like it's a picture of my talisman with a red arrow pointing down on it, because my talisman was hit by that acid attack. Everything was hit by that acid attack. The talisman took a lot of durability damage, and that's bad. Okay, so this boss mixes up the formula, as I was saying. You'll see in a minute. We're not actually attacking the boss directly. The boss is under that, or it is that giant nasty tree thing. Yep, and it's coming to life there. There's these two glowing orange orbs on the side over here. These are what we need to target. Now this boss is really bizarre. It doesn't directly attack you. It does, actually. I take that back. It'll do, like, fire attacks and stuff later. But it mostly, like, the biggest problem is that it sweeps its... here, we're going to destroy that. There's going to be a little cutscene, which I'm going to go ahead and skip. It sweeps... You'll see it sweep its hands around. Oh, boy. We're going to lose those 32 souls, by the way. That's just a thing that's going to happen. I've already come to terms with it. He sweeps... It sweeps its big old tree arms around and will push you down those pits. And more pits open as you do more damage to it. By which I mean as you take out those two orange things that are... that we have to attack. But it's okay. We took out one. When we go back to the boss, that one will already be down, so we can just beeline over for the other one. Let's see. I'm going to really quickly use a soul item. Just a little one. It doesn't really matter. Soul of a Lost Undead. Or large Soul of a Lost Undead. This should be more than enough. 400 souls. Just so I can repair my equipment. Maybe it's not going to be more than enough. Okay, let's use another one real quick then. Just want to repair all my stuff before going back into that fight. Also, I need to re-equip that orange ring just so I can run across the lava again. Repair equipment. Yep, repair my armor. There we go. And then change back to that orange ring. And since I am fully expecting that I'm going to be dying a bunch here, I'm just going to leave the orange ring equipped this time. No need to optimize my equipment that much because we're going to be doing this a little bit. This boss fight is, it's interesting. It kind of mixes up the formula a little bit, and I do appreciate that. But it's really hokey and really gimmicky, it feels. Even, you know, you can't, like, block or dodge any of its giant arm sweeps. You just need to run and hope for the best, generally. And it gets worse. When we destroy that second orange thing, I think it was like a root or a branch or something that was glowing orange. Whatever it is, when we destroy that, then the fight's going to get even worse because there's going to be even more holes opened up in the floor that we can fall through. And it'll start doing... If it isn't doing fire attacks already, it's going to start doing fire attacks, shooting like fire up out of the ground, the pyromancies that we've been seeing, that sort of thing. Alright, 2 hits to take down the Chaos Eater. That's not bad. And those little demon statues are super slow, so I have no qualms about just running past them and avoiding them. Right, here we are. I'm not going to bother running over and trying to get those 30,000 souls that we just lost. Yes, it's almost enough for us to level up, but in all honesty, I would rather just deal with this boss and be done with it. The quicker we can finish the boss, the better. So the boss is essentially shielded, yeah, so when we took out that one orange thing over on the right, it popped up those orange, fiery tree branch tentacles. Oh man, this guy hurts. Heal, oh, that's probably a dumb idea. Ooh, okay. I think... gotta roll through all these. And there's the other one. I'm gonna skip the cutscene here. And actually, the easiest way to deal with the boss from here, which I should have done after the last time, is just to homeward back out. Use a homeward bone or cast the homeward spell if you have it. Honestly, after each one of those branches that you destroy, you should just teleport back out because it's much easier to run from where you start over to each of the 3 pieces that we have to destroy. Because yes, there's a third. Easier to run from the start where we slide down the little path there than it is to run from each branch that you destroy over to the other ones. branch, root, not entirely sure what they are. But yeah, so that cutscene that I just skipped when we attacked the boss there, it was going to be same thing as what happened the first time, which I also skipped, but you kind of saw the results of that, where the fiery branches pop up out of the tree. So now the whole thing is going to be big old nasty fiery branches. And then the third area that we need to attack is going to be front and center, just right down the middle. Unfortunately, it's also the toughest to get at because of the way this boss swings its branches. So this is going to be very, very difficult, but hopefully I can pull it off. This is another one of those bosses, just one of those areas of the game where I'm always resigned to just dying. And it's one of those things, even having other people doesn't necessarily help. So being able to summon other people to assist, I don't know that it would make that much of a difference, because the trick to this boss is getting to the parts you need to attack, not actually, you know, dishing out damage or anything like that. Now, we're going to watch, I'm probably going to die right here, to be honest. Yep. Because I didn't know exactly where I needed to go, and then the branch just swiped me off the edge. As I said, lost the 30,000 souls from last time. Not a big deal. This is one of those bosses, you're going to be dying a whole lot to this boss. Not much you can do about it. Alright. So we trek back and do it all over again. If you knew your timing and you knew like exactly where the floor was going to fall and exactly where you needed to jump down, because for this third bit we do have to jump down there where the floor was falling. If you know all that stuff and you have your timing and everything, and maybe just a little bit of luck, you can usually just run right through without too much trouble. I am not that good, and I do always have trouble with this boss. So you have been warned. Just gonna sprint past all these guys again. Since I'm just expecting to keep dying until we finish this boss. No idea how many tries it's gonna take, but I'm expecting that I'm gonna die again. Just anyway, there's no real point in fighting off these enemies. They don't have any items that I care about, and souls don't do me much good when I'm just gonna keep dying over and over again. At least it's not too terribly far to run from the bonfire over to here. And here we go again. Sliding down here. You saw last time I was sliding down, it started to hit me with a fire attack towards the bottom. That is a new capability now that it's all fiery up there. Roll. Make it. Yes. Awesome. Jeez, and after all that hyping up how many more times I'm going to die and whatnot, I just make it on my first jump. Now, the actual boss itself, the thing that's controlling this nasty tree creature, is that. This pathetic-looking little bug. Oh boy. Yeah, so a single hit to kill it. You still gotta be careful because of the fire spells that it can cast. But yeah, that was it. So that is the Lord Soul, number 3. And Humanity, which is pretty fantastic. Get 72,000 souls because of my Silver Serpent Ring. And yeah, that is Lost Izalith and this area completed. So now we are off to the 4th and final area. We need to go to Firelink Shrine for. So we're hunting our final piece of the Lord's Soul, which is going to be down below in the ghostly New Londo ruins. And actually, while I'm here, I'm probably going to level up. by probably going to level up, I mean I'm going to level up. Happy with our faith. I think I'm going to do a bit more endurance. I'd like to be able to block more. Although I'm not going to be blocking in this next area that we're going to. Yeah, I probably am. So this next area is just has some horrific creatures. You may recall way back at the beginning of this series. Gosh, one of my first couple of videos, it might even have been like video number 2, 3, right around there. I came down here and I got the Firekeeper soul, so I could upgrade my Estus flasks right away. And there were a bunch of these nasty ghost creatures. So those ghosts are going to be our nemesis in this area. And actually, while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to switch back over to the Gold Serpent Ring. I am really going to be relying on getting item drops to get through this area, as odd as that sounds. I'll explain more as we get over here. So these ghosts are nasty, cursed creatures. These ghosts are cursed, and we can only damage them if we are also cursed. It means we can also only block their attacks if we are cursed. Divine weapons, occult weapons, none of that matters, just the curse. Now, we can either go get the curse status and have that inflicted on us so that our HP is halved, and that would be sufficient. Or we can use a temporary curse, a transient curse, if you will, which is an item that we picked up earlier in this area. Again, when I was down here before. And so we can use this transient curse, and that will let us hit these ghosts as well. And it will also let us block. Now, they have some really nasty attacks, but they also have a decent chance to drop transient curses, which is why I am relying on item drops. So I gotta keep an eye on myself and make sure I keep this transient curse status on myself. Because as soon as it wears off, then these ghosts are going to hit me and they're going to do just a ridiculous amount of damage. So I'm actually going to leave the transient curses up. It's grayed out, meaning that I cannot use it again until this effect wears off. I believe my miracles can also hit them, so I'm going to try hitting that one with a lightning spear, just see how much damage it does. 378, awesome. So that kills it in one shot. That is exciting and very good to know. And because they're ghosts, yeah, there's going to be a lot of that where they just kind of pop up wherever you're walking through. Not sure why that one caught on fire when I kicked them. Oh, probably because I still have the orange ring on. I'm probably going to be taking some hits and trading hits with these ghosts, so I would like the extra poise just to make sure I can power through whatever attacks they're trying to hit me with. Now, here's... Yep, and they also have... really long range on a lot of their attacks, so it's another thing to be careful of. And they're ghosts, so they get all sorts of nasty capabilities. They can do a grab, where they latch onto you and suck the life out of you. That's a very bad attack. Mostly it's just the ambushes. That's the nasty bit, is you're going to get ambushed and surrounded by ghosts coming out of nowhere a lot. They can come out of the ceiling, they can come out of the floor. It actually looks like they're not doing too much damage to me, which is surprising. I forget exactly which way to go. I think we do just need to go down those stairs there, yeah. There's an item just chilling out there. I think it's safe to assume that that's going to be a trap. There's a chest over there somewhere. Alright, we're going to head over here. There's probably a ghost in the... Yeah, there's a ghost in the wall. You can see it sticking out. That's okay, because I can hit it through the wall. Kind of. Alright, so we got a parrying dagger. That's interesting. It's a weapon that you would use instead of a shield. And it's slightly better for parrying enemy attacks than shields are. I have no intention to use that. A lot of really pro high-level players like to use the parrying dagger. And that is a Banshee, which is like a special version of these ghosts. Worth slightly more souls, does some more devastating attacks, I believe. And a Fogwall. This is not a boss, this is just kind of delineating that we're moving into the next area here. So I guess I should probably mention what our goal is here. I haven't really talked about it that much. This place is flooded. As we've seen, there's a lot of water. We're actually going to try to drain the water out of here. There's like a sealed door that we're going to open. It's going to let a bunch of the water out. Basically, I don't really recall the story of this place. They drowned the city. They flooded the city to drown people here, to seal the kings, the 4 kings of New Londo. I don't know exactly why they wanted to do that. We'll encounter one of the sealers. There were 4 of them, and they wear that special orange armor, or red armor. Not orange, red. I don't think I have with me anymore. Yeah, I put it in the box. It's the armor that I found in Blighttown and I was wearing for quite a while. They're really cool looking red hood and whatnot. And also, I gotta be wary. I feel like my transient curse has been active for a while and it's probably gonna wear off here anytime. And I don't want to go into the next area until I know that I've re-upped my transient curse. Also, yep, bunch of ghosts. Gotta be really, really careful not to fall off. I'd love to get that item, whatever it is. Can I hit you? Yes, I can. Awesome, and I don't think I can get close enough to this item to actually pick it up, which is unfortunate. There's probably more transient curses. Oh, and my transient curse is up. So we're going to run over here and pop that real quick. And good to go. I could run and jump over those broken stairs there. I'm not. I'm going to go into this house here. This is like a little haunted house building. Filled with tons and tons and tons of ghosts. Oh, hello. There we go. If you're really cautious going through here, this area is not that bad. I believe their attacks... Oh, jeez, and there's a Banshee screaming at me. I believe their attacks do a tiny little bit of magical damage, which is why I'm taking damage even though I'm blocking. Also, I'm just straight up taking attacks. Yeah, I think that's the Banshee, because that hurt a lot. There we go. Yep, so another area where just you gotta be really, really cautious. I have no qualms about using my Estus flasks here. We're going to be heading back to a bonfire later, so I'll get more Estus. Oh, jeez. Alright, time to lighten you. Oh, dang it. And I got grabbed. Oh, that actually did much less damage than I was expecting. I'm gonna go ahead and heal up real quick. So I think we're almost done killing ghosts. And then there's, yeah, at least one more over here, and I think there was one up in the ceiling. Yeah. It can be a bit tricky to lure out to where you can actually fight them. That's kind of the only real problem with these ghosts. And the transient curses. There is a place where you can acquire more transient curses, I believe. I forget exactly where you can buy them. But, you know, running out is not the end of the world. Let's see. I think... did I explore in here? No. So this is where we actually need to go. For now. So up here on the roof, I think we're good on ghosts. I think I've cleared out this area enough. But here is the sealer who I was talking about. That's the armor I was talking about. I think there were like 4 of them according to the lore, something like that. And they've all died or abandoned their posts, and so this is the final guard, final one watching over the seal.
This is a surprise. You have
Yes,
the Lord Vessel.
we do have the Lord Vessel.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
I know exactly what your intentions are.
Our intentions
You
are to
seek
kill the 4 kings.
whom I guard over.
Yep.
This is the key to the seal.
Awesome, so we got the key to the seal now.
Slumber in the deepest chamber of the ruins. Use this key to break the seal and open the floodgates. Oh, and do not forget, the dark wraiths reside in a dark void called the Abyss. But the Abyss is no place for
Okay,
ordinary mortals.
this is very important, talking about the
Although,
Abyss here.
Long ago, the knight Artorius traversed the Abyss. If you can find him and learn from him, the Abyss may prove surmountable.
Okay, so that was a very, very, very important little tidbit there, talking about how normally you cannot survive in the Abyss. Nobody can. But Artorius did a long time ago. So if we could find Artorius and maybe learn how he did that, perhaps we could do that ourselves. We already did that. We visited Artorius' grave. We fought the Great Wolf Sif. And after defeating Sif, we got the Covenant of Artorius, a ring. It's where, like Artorius himself, can traverse the Abyss. So we're going to be needing to make use of this ring, Covenant of Artorius, in order to visit the Abyss and conquer it. So yeah, that's going to be our next goal, heading towards the 4 kings. And that's what I'm going to be working towards in the next video. Thanks for joining me on this one, and I hope to see you there, everyone.